Hey everybody, it's Josh. Just wanted to do a quick video. You know how those go for me. They usually run a little long, but I wanted to talk about suffering and mainly the hard times that we go through where we think, we get so fearful that this is going to all collapse on us. That the world is just closing in and there seems like nothing we can do. I have a couple brothers right now, a couple brothers in Christ who are going through just awful times. And honestly, I think back to my life before I was saved. And I think of how much fear there was, how much terror there was, that I would just lose the little bit I had left. I'd already had almost everything taken from me. You know, I was living, just above the poverty line. I'd already gone bankrupt. I'd had a disability where I just could not, escape the pain. I'd had a surgery and they nicked the sciatic nerve in my leg. So that pain just doesn't go away. And, I learned a couple little tricks here and there to kind of relieve some of the pain for a couple hours maybe. But for the most part, it was always agonizing. And it still is like that. But it's all different now. I have not suffered for 1 minute since I was saved. I've been in, obviously, the physical pain I was talking about. I have been through grief, with multiple deaths of close family members. I have been through trauma and tragedy where, family members were, my mother was paralyzed from a stroke and my dad's had, multiple heart surgeries and everybody's struggling for money and, the cars are breaking down. You feel like you're going to lose everything. And you're terrified. And it just makes me, when I see someone in this position, it just makes me want to, just give them a big hug and assure them it's going to be all right. And before, I'd always wanted to do this. I always wanted to comfort people in these positions. But before, I didn't think it was going to be all right. I was lying to them. So I would feel bad about lying to them. Like and you have to excuse me, I'm still getting over a little cold here. I would tell them, whatever I thought they needed to hear. But now I know it's going to be all right. I know it is. Every step we take is a trust fall. It all depends on what you put your trust in. If you put your trust in something of this world, it doesn't matter whether it's desires, alcohol or drugs, or people, even our loved ones who we think, oh, well, I have my close family, so, we all love each other and that'll make everything okay. I'm sorry to tell you this, but there's a very good chance, in fact, almost a probability, that everyone you love is going to let you down at some point. Everyone you love is going to anything from betray you or abandon you or just completely, they grow apart from you. We see this in the Bible when the rock of Christ's disciples, Peter, he was the last one we thought, oh, well, he won't ever betray Christ. But what did he do? He betrayed him 3 times when Christ needed him the most. In Christ's most desperate time. Not only that, but the night before Christ was taken for the crucifixion, he was going to the garden. He went to the garden to pray. And he prayed so hard that his skin bled, they said. And Christ actually got a little frustrated with the disciples because they were too tired to even stay awake for this. To stay awake and pray with him. To watch out for anyone coming, for, just to do just the bare minimum. That's where the spirit is willing and the flesh is weak. But the flesh is weak comes from. The flesh is always weak. It doesn't matter how much faith you have, the demons are going to come and attack you from every angle. You will see just non-stop attacks on your defenses. And you won't even, most times, you won't even know what's going on until, already too late. You might, be at the pool and see some good-looking girl and you can't take your eye, and you're trying not to check her out. But there she is. Or you'll, have that drink in front of you and you're an alcoholic and it's just calling to you. That escape is calling to you because you know that the desires of the flesh, whether it's lust or, drug abuse or substance abuse, these things help us forget about the pain in life. These things help us forget about how life is just non-stop tragedy and trauma. But I'm telling you, it will all devour you. All these things of this world will devour you. This is what people don't understand. When a lot of people, myself included when I was younger, think basically religion is just all the same. It's just got different gods. But it's all going to the same, it's all got the same end goal. You're all just worshiping God, just in a different form. This could not be further from the truth. Christianity, there is nothing like it. And the reason why is because we have a suffering God. We have a God that made himself flesh, made himself man, so we can relate to him. You can't understand an unknown, unseen, all-knowing God. You just can't. And God knows this. And it's impossible to keep faith in that unknown, unseen God when, first of all, as I said, he's unseen, so he's hidden. And you can't relate to him at all in your life. You're like, well, God, he created me. Thanks, I guess, but what's he done for me lately? That's how we all think. Too many of us. What have you done for me lately? Christ is different. Other religions are man reaching out to God, searching for God. Christianity is God reaching out to man. no other religion have they had their God come down and suffer in unimaginable ways and show us from the time of his birth to the time of his death to the time of his resurrection exactly the example to strive towards. No other God can do what Christ does for us and have a relationship with us, a personal, intimate relationship. It is revolutionary. It is extraordinary. It is miraculous. We search so hard for the truth. And, those who consider themselves intellectuals, they think, oh, well, how stupid. They see so many Christians who don't know much about Christianity, but they want to be good little followers, so they say, oh, yes, I believe in Jesus, and they kind of do their, little go through the motions thing. But if you dig down deep, I thought the deeper I dug into the Christian faith, the less it would appeal to me. I thought that there was no intellectual curiosity that they would satisfy, because I thought I knew all about it just by knowing, the basics of stories, the basics of the Old Testament, and the basics of the New. I'm telling you, it is not only the only religion where God is reaching out to man, it is the only religion where there is so much historical, archaeological, geological, astrological evidence to correspond with the events of the Bible. It corresponds with it to an amazing degree. And I always bought into the whole, oh, well, it's just it's just a book written to control people, and it was changed by the Council of Nicaea and all these other people along the way, and it wasn't written till hundreds of years after Christ's death, and all these lies. Because that's what was being pushed when I was a young adult or a late teenager. That's the kind of lies that were being pushed, and they made you feel like a moron if you followed Christ. And that is the work of demons. The devil always figures out a way to trick you. And really, God makes it sort of easy for him. Because he doesn't want lukewarm followers. He wants devoted servants. He wants somebody... when I was saved, I found more freedom than I'd ever found in my entire life, that I ever knew possible. I found peace. I found joy. I had wisdom I never learned. I understood so much in an instant. And then I had the choice of just take this freedom and just run with it. But I knew that freedom would lead me right back to where I was, further away from God. There was no way I was getting that opportunity to have that relationship with Christ. At the time, I didn't even know it was Christ, because he led me to Christ. God led me to Christ slowly and methodically. It was beautiful. But I thought I'm not giving up this opportunity to be close to God ever again. I will gladly give up this freedom, which I thought was the greatest thing to strive for. I will gladly give it up for the meaning and the purpose, and most of all, the love and the peace that comes with knowing Christ. I did another video on this, but on my brother in Christ who needs some help right now, TJ over at TJ Tells the Truth on YouTube. I beg you, if you have a couple bucks, even just a little bit extra to spare, just please, I'm putting I think it's a Cash App thing or something in my description. Please consider giving to him. I've seen too many brothers and sisters in Christ who have reached out to me in hard times, and there's nothing financially I can do for them, really. Not much, at least. But I don't know what's happened to some of them. I pray that they're okay, that they are still following Christ. But I'm not sure. I don't know. I had one brother on here who he was homeless, and I always was like, maybe I should do like some sort of charity thing for him, try to raise some money. And I thought about it too long, and then he just disappeared. Last I heard, he was living in a homeless shelter, and then he was in the hospital. I don't want this to happen to anyone else. If any of you are having trouble, if any of you need or in need, please let me know, and I will do my best to try to help in any way that I can. But for me, it's like Peter said when he healed the lame man. Silver and gold I do not have, but be healed in the name of Christ. That's the best I can do for everyone right now. And I know, even though it doesn't feel like that for a lot of people who are suffering and scared because they're about to lose everything they have, even though it's very little, going to Christ is the greatest gift anyone can get. But we need to support each other. We need to support each other in tough times. So I'm going to, give a little bit to TJ. I encourage you all to, if you have extra, to give some too. And if you don't, try to do something for the brothers and sisters in need, the children in need. Please, I beg of you, it will make you feel better. It will make you feel that warmth in your heart. You're not going to find salvation through just charity and stuff, but it does bring you a little bit closer to Christ. It brings you closer because this is what he teaches: to serve others, to deny ourselves and pick up the cross and just do what we can to help others. So if any of you have or are in need, if any of you have any channels to promote or businesses to promote, please let me know. I want to start a close community here. I want to make sure that we all look out for each other, because a lot of us are the ones who fell through the cracks. We are just let down by the churches, let down by so many, and we need each other to be our own little church, be our own little congregation. We need each other to lean on, even though we might be hundreds or thousands of miles apart. We are together in spirit. All right, everybody, I got to get out of here. I love you all so much. God bless.